What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Shout out to everybody for being here, guys. We are now starting our $100 redraft league, guys. Yes, $100 redraft league. We do have a special guest in the building. It is going to be Jams. Jams, you ready?
Yeah, let's do this. I'm excited.
Let's do it, Brusky. We haven't done this in a while. I'm glad you're back. I'm glad to see if any of your values changed. We got Satoshi at the 1-1, Jams at the 1-2, Miley at the 1-3 there, JJ at the 1-4. Let me make sure I tag Miley there. Ingord at the 1-5, Bodman at the 1-6, Christian Young at the 1-7. Let me make sure I tag him as well as everybody else is here. Manth at the 1-9, Pickens at the 1-10, Mugi at the 1-11, and Bama there at the 1-12, my brother. This is going to be 30 seconds per pick. Guys, this is going to be a 3-flex league. Let refresh your app. All right, guys. Bijan goes there at the 1-1. James, who are we taking here?
I'm gonna surprise you with the 3 flex.
No,
and
don't.
I'm gonna do it.
Don't. Wow. If I knew you were going to
Yeah.
do it, I would have asked for the 1-3. Tell me why.
I think with 3 flex, receivers are very important, and I love the later rounds running backs. The value I can get from players like Javonte Williams, or Henderson, or some of these older guys, Judkins even, and then I like my guy Price. So
Yep.
I like later round values, and with this many flexes, I see the stacking receivers early is not a bad thing. You could really get in trouble here if you draft 3 running backs in a row, and then you might be left with 2 wide receivers that you hate.
So if you were there at the 1-1, would you have taken Jamar Chase?
I don't think so. I think if I was at the 1-1, I would have gone Robinson.
Wow. So you have
Um,
Robinson over Gibbs in your rankings.
yeah.
Why?
I know Gibbs because I think that Atlanta's going to be a sneaky good team. I'm not a buyer in the belief that they're going to be bad this year.
I mean, I don't think Atlanta is going to be terrible, like great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think Detroit has been falling off. They haven't lived up to their hype. I don't think they're either one is bad, and I think it's just who you like more. I like riding the more hyped up players. So, and I'm not in a lot of higher stake leagues. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna follow your direction. I'm just gonna copy you this draft. I'm gonna go with wide receiver as well. I was gonna
okay,
go.
I'm gonna go quarterback next.
Yeah. Moogie says this guy on crack. Hey, if you have a chance to roast Moogie, make sure you go ahead and roast him. Um, there's a lot of people that are surprised by your decision, by your thought process, but that's what makes fantasy a great environment because everyone has their own values. Yet last year, if you told me Lad McConkey was, one of the best wide receivers in the league, he's a league winner, I would have believed you. And then if you told me he wasn't, we would have looked at you crazy because what do you mean Keenan Allen, a 34-year-old, is going to take some targets off of Lad? You know what I mean? So it's all what people really look like, really have valued. But how do you feel about here in the first round? How do you feel about all this?
I have to stop laughing. Yeah, I like it. I do think the running backs are going earlier than I would, predict because of the 3 flex.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people are changing their draft strategy, so it might work out in my favor.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. What do you think is the worst pick there in the first round?
Do you know how tall Ashton Genty is?
No, I do not. Like 5'10"?
5'8".
Oh wow.
Yeah. And then Devon Achane. I'm a Dolphins fan, um, and I can't see them scoring a lot. So his, ceiling, his upside is not as high as some of these other players that you could take. So I would stay away from Achane personally this year, where he's being drafted around those other players. I mean,
I
even
agree.
Genty has a higher upside than Achane, but that's just how I see it.
I do agree. I do agree with that take with I do agree with that take with Achan, but I just think Genty, even though he's 5'8", that makes him even more shifty. You know what I mean? So that's why I don't really mind Achan personally because he is so shifty. But yeah, there's some people there's some people on this app that you can't be taking seriously, JMs. But with that being said, I do agree with your takes there as well. Hampton goes at the 2-2. Barkley, Kenneth Walker. Have you heard about the Barkley news?
I have not. Is there something today?
Yeah, there is. Hey, the news is that Tank Bigsby and Barkley are what's the word for it? Are going to be splitting snaps. How do you feel? How do you think that's true?
Yeah, I think Barkley is way overdrafted. He last year was not good. He's 29. Was he turning 30 this year? Yeah, so
I'm not too sure.
they also lost AJ Brown. We don't know how that's going to affect the overall offense. And we don't know how their new offensive coordinator is going to be. So it's just a bunch of question marks with Barkley. He really last year showed that he's not going to just always have a great floor. And I think if he has another season like he did last year, it might be really tough for him.
I agree. But
I'm
before that,
drafting here.
who are you taking here? Talk to me about your thought process.
Yeah, actually, one player fell to me here that I like and love, and I need running back. I don't want to be left destitute.
That's true.
I'm actually though gonna go Pickens.
Wow.
I'm gonna stick to my strategy.
Okay. I mean, hey, I respect it. If you like your wide receivers, you got to go grab your wide receivers. But the problem that we see often is that if you don't take the running backs, Scatterbo goes
Look at
off the
that.
board,
Look
and
at
then you
that.
get Jeremiah Love here too.
Yep.
I think you're happy with that, right?
Yeah, that's perfect. I think Pickens had a chance of going there. He obviously likes Dallas players, with Williams going before, so extremely happy with that. Taking Love, who's an unknown on a bad team. I know Brissett's there, but he didn't win any games last year, so I don't have too high of expectations for them.
I agree.
I like getting him in the third. I can justify it.
I agree with you on that as well. I agree with you on that as well. All right, guys. With that being said, Jacobs goes there as well. Talk to me about the second round. What are some strong picks in the second round? What are some weaker picks in the second round, in your opinion?
Yeah, AJ Brown has risen significantly since we last did one of these. And we talked about that a lot. I think he's going to even start going up higher with the Barkley news. You just told me, and with how his just underwhelmed everybody was with him last year. Achane should also start to fall, and so I could see him going up maybe around 2-4 area, possibly higher by the start of the season. But I like the Rice as well. He does concern me, but I think he's pretty safe that he's playing this year. I think we would have heard something if he was going to be suspended already. At least that's the hope.
Yeah.
For someone taking him.
Yeah, but
Josh Allen though being taken here in the third round.
It is a 3-flex league. How do you feel about these tight ends and quarterbacks going off this early?
It's crazy that Brock Bowers is going off as the number 1 tight end.
I agree.
I know he's proven he's great, but he has unknown at quarterback, which I know he's proven that he can, still be great and put up good numbers. But coming off an injury, where Trey McBride clearly is the best tight end in the league, coming off from last year, it's one of those situations where even if Trey McBride gets 50 to 75 less points, he's still going to be the number 1 tight end. They're both on probably low offenses, but overall, to answer that question, I think that going quarterback tight end early is just not great. And I'll tell you why when I take my tight end, if he falls to me, what my process is behind that.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you at all there. People are way high on Brock Bowers. We've been seeing since we last did a draft, bro. I don't think Trey McBride has gone before Brock Bowers in 99% of these drafts. Are you seeing something? I know you're not. Are you seeing maybe their argument is that Jacoby's not going to be passing as much?
I don't buy it. I think just it's crazy to doubt the amount of targets he's going to get, and that offense. You know they're not changing anything. So why would it be different?
That is true. That is true. That is true. But I mean, I don't know. That's their argument. I mean, what's the argument for Brock Bowers that Kirk Cousins did what he did with Trey McBride? I mean, with Kyle Pitts. Is that the argument? I'm guessing. You know.
I think the argument is he's shown that he can do it with any quarterback,
Yeah.
and people like him over McBride because they see Arizona being slightly worse as a team, so they lean Bowers. I think that's the thought process, but I think they're looking at that and not stats of what McBride did last year with Jacoby, and just seeing that even if he doesn't produce nearly as high, he would have still been number one.
I agree. I agree. All right, you're coming up on the pick here. I mean, you have very good wide receivers and running backs still available. What's usually your I know people might be watching this, but if you could, just elaborate. What would you like? What's going on through your mind drafting in a $100 league when you're in the 4th round here?
Yeah, I don't mind if people hear who I'm looking at. I'm looking at another running back, and Henderson just went, so that's not going to happen now. But I do still like going wide receiver in a 3 flex. I know it might. A lot of people reach for a running back when it doesn't go their way, and they try to fill their roster, especially their starting running backs. I think you were just in a draft. I don't know with who, but I was listening to it, and he was reaching a lot for running backs, and it could work. But I think in a 3 flex particularly, I want to stay with receivers here. So I'm looking at Garrett Wilson, Zay Flowers, Jalen Waddle, and I have to go with Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, I don't blame you there at all. But man, my favorite wide receiver goes off the board. One of my favorite wide receivers, DeAndre Swift. Do you like him this year or no?
I'm not the biggest fan in him, just because of the size, and he's never. I know he's always been, and you've pointed this out to me, like above a top half of the league running back.
Top 24 and higher every season he's had.
Yeah, it's just someone that I think could be going later, and I like the upside of these other players. I don't want to take a player that I know his floor is that. But let me look at players to pick right now.
Yeah, sorry.
It's going to be quite a while until I pick again.
That is true. I feel like you have to. Go ahead.
I'm not gonna do what you think, and I'm gonna go Zay Flowers here.
Wow, man, I don't know how he's available there at the 5-2. That's insanity.
Yeah. Well, it's because people took, a lot of running backs pretty early. So I don't know. I'm kind of lucking out here. I'm looking at my flex spots and my wide receiver room, and I'm very happy.
Dude, I don't think I have ever seen Zay Flowers in any of my leagues go in the 5th round, and you took him in a $100 league in the 5th round. Rome Odunze and DJ Moore went before Zay Flowers. Wowzers, I did not expect that. All right, talk to me about the 4th round. What are some weaker picks? What are some stronger picks?
Yeah, weaker picks, I would say Tootin is a question mark. It could be a full committee there. We know that Rodriguez gets some end zone touches from last year, so Tootin could get all the, between the 50 carries, and then Rodriguez could come in for a, end zone work. So it could not really work out for him. We just don't know yet. I know the coach has been hyping him up, saying he's going to possibly be workhorse, but we really just don't know until they actually get on the field.
I agree.
So he's a big question mark. The Devontae Smith pick I love because A.J. Brown is just leaving a big hole in their offense. So I think he should go up in value. I like that. I would take him over, actually, probably over Montgomery. But I like where all those receivers went ahead of him. Just the running backs confused me there, taking Montgomery over some of these receivers.
I agree, man. I think Zay was a phenomenal selection there. I have to pick here. Everybody that I wanted went off the board. The only person I'm
Yeah,
looking at is Loveland here, but I don't know if I can take Loveland in a 3-flex league.
I don't think you can. And Price just went who I wanted to
So
fall. But
this is my strategy here, guys. I have 2 safe wide receivers, Lamonra and Devontae. So now I'm gonna go for upside, and this upside you guys might not like, but I'm gonna take Luther Burden here at the 5'8".
wow.
I'm not big on him, but I have 2 safe wide receivers. You know what I mean? So maybe I could swing on the upside, and if Luther doesn't work out, I can still rely on Amon-Ra and Devontae Smith. I feel like. How do you feel
That's
about that?
crazy to me. When Odunze has shown them when they're both on the field, he's going to be better. And also, there's other players there. I know it's not sleeper fantasies like ADP, but taking a Watson or Harrison or someone a little bit more safe. Even I just talked about Devontae Smith, but Malachi Lemon has a lot of upside.
Makai Lemon. I agree. Malachi. I heard Malik
Right.
Lemon.
I was listening to that earlier.
I heard
I got
Malik
confused
Lemon.
there.
I heard Makalai Lemon. I heard every kind of lemon besides his real name. I don't blame you there. It could be our inside joke. But yeah, I could have won with JMO. I could have won with Watson. I could have won with Tate. But I feel like Burden might have a pretty decent upside, and we don't know how injured Rome Odunze is. So, if he does miss a few weeks, maybe Burden could overtake that running back 1 role there for sure. But how do you feel about the tight ends going there off the board as well?
Yeah, I know Warren should be a target hog there in Indianapolis, so I don't hate it, but I personally don't draft tight ends until late. And when you're talking about a 3-flex league, I really avoid them. I might draft one at the 15th round.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right. Who am I thinking here, guys? Chivo goes off the board. Warren goes off the board. Marvin is here. A lot of players are here, but I'm going to go ahead and grab my guy, in my opinion. I still think this guy's very underrated.
I knew you were going to take him.
How do you like him? Because he's been falling a lot. I would take him over Chuba Hubbard. Now, will Jonathan Brooks, getting hyped up? You there?
Yep, I'm still here.
Oh my bad. Did you hear me?
How will Jonathan Brooks what? You cut out for a
Oh my
second.
bad. Would you take Chuba Hubbard over Tony Pollard, knowing that Jonathan Brooks is still competing for that running back 1 role?
No, I wouldn't unless I'm planning on taking both. And so Pickens, he might have that strategy where he tries to get Brooks with one of his next picks. So we'll have to see. Keep an eye on his team. Because if that's a strategy, and then I understand it.
Yeah, I agree. All right, guys. With that being said, you're coming up pretty soon here, man. Are you looking for any wide receivers, maybe quarterbacks even? You know what I mean? What are you thinking here? Talk to me.
Yeah, I'm still looking at wide receiver. I think it's crazy how all these running backs are going so early. There's still plenty of running back depth. I don't want to give too much away, but I am looking at wide receiver.
All right. Wide receiver here still. 3-flex league. How do you feel about Parker Washington as well? Okay, talk to me. Who are you thinking here?
I'm thinking, and this would be where I mess up in the draft, but I am thinking that I go with a wide receiver, and I'm thinking it's going to be DK Metcalf here.
Wow. Okay. Or Jordan Tyson.
Yeah, Jordan Tyson with the injury scares me too much.
Yeah, but would you take Makai Lemon over DK Metcalf? Would you take Makai Lemon over Jordan Tyson?
Yeah, I would.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Who are you thinking here?
It's going to be quite a while, and I'm not going to leave myself completely barren at running back. So I'm going to go with somebody that's not popular.
Harvey.
I'm taking Ramondre
Oh,
Stevenson. He's going to be in the same system, same coach who trusts him. We've seen that. It could be a 40% share. It could be a 60% share. It could be the first month of the season. He's still leading the backfield there, but all you need is to get some wins and get in the playoffs, and then it's anybody's game there. So yeah, maybe he's only great for the first half of the year or maybe the first 4 weeks, but that could be 4 wins for my team.
yeah, no, I agree with you on that as well. Sutton goes there off the board as well. Talk to me about the 6th round. What are some of your picks in the 6th round that you like?
That I like.
Yep,
Tucker Craft should be coming back, I heard, from injury.
he is. He is.
And Lemon, I just talked about how they have such a vacated target share with AJ Brown going. He could have even gone a round earlier, and I would have been okay with it, especially because Saquon has just fallen off. So it could just be a bad situation in Philadelphia this year where they become pass heavy if their running backs can't get anything going.
Yeah, I agree with you on that as well. I am picking here. Alec Pierce is available, and you guys know how much I love Alec Pierce this year. But unfortunately, he is on the injury side, and I don't know if I can trust that. I am gonna go ahead and take. We don't know how long Alec Pierce is gonna be out for, so I'm gonna go ahead and take QJ here, guys, at the 7-8. If I didn't, Pickens was gonna take him. But how do you feel about Quentin Johnston this year as well?
I like him actually over Ladd in a lot of ways because
Wow.
he's going to be on the field more than Ladd and wide receiver 2 sets. However, I do know that Mike McDaniel does a lot of spicy plays. Maybe there will be more 3 wide receiver sets. But I know McDaniel likes to roll out 2 tight ends, get the fullback involved. And so I'm imagining in my mind Johnson lining up on the outside with, who's the other guy they have there? I'm blanking on his name. Is it Trey Harris? Who are the 2
Trey Harris.
guys who
Trey
play
Harris.
outside?
Trey Harris. You're right.
Yeah, and then they usually put, at least for last year, they were putting Ladd in the slot. So I would imagine there would be a lot of times where you're frustrated with that team because Ladd just isn't on the field. So I like that pick. I do like more a player who's still not drafted, and I'm not talking about Ricky Pearsall, but
Okay.
there's some other wide receivers that I like more than Pierce.
Okay. More than Pierce. I don't blame you.
Well, there he just went Robinson.
Yeah, he did go Wandale Robinson. You like him there?
Yeah, I think I would have taken him over Pierce or Pittman or Addison.
All right, guys. I am picking here. I don't know who to exactly go with. All the players I wanted, Josh Downs goes off the board. Everybody that I wanted basically went off the board. The only person that's still available is Kyle Monangai. Oh, never mind. Jonathan Brooks is available at the 8-5. So we've been seeing Jonathan Brooks going pretty early here recently. We've been seeing him go in the 7th, 8th round. I'll go ahead and take a shot at him at the 8-5 in case he could be that running back 1. He's on my bench, so it's just upside there. But I'm gonna go take Jonathan Brooks there. How do you feel about Brooks this year? Do you think he can compete for that running back 1 spot?
I think he can. I don't think that with the injury history, they're gonna just give him everything. I think it'll be a committee, and then hopefully by the middle of the year, picking up, he can be the number 1 back. Just because I like Hubbard, but he's never been a player that has just electrifying like plays to solidify himself as a top half the league running back. He always puts up decent stats when he has the opportunity, but there's just no juice that I see that gets me excited when I pick Hubbard. So I hope Brooks does well, but if not, then they might be looking at getting another running back.
Yeah, and
next
then
year.
Debo, man, goes there at the 8-9 with a
Crazy.
signing to
I heard you call
49ers.
him fat.
I mean, have you seen the pictures? I don't know if you've seen the pictures of what's going on with him.
Well, I just got sniped. Someone took Aaron Jones. I was
They
thinking
did.
about getting the Jones
I would take
stack.
Jordan Mason or Commandant guy here.
Yeah, I
Or
might
neither.
surprise you
Oh,
here.
never
I
mind.
might
Go
surprise
ahead.
you.
Rashad White,
I'm
JCM,
looking.
Chris Rodriguez.
Yeah,
KC, another wide receiver there. Wow. Okay.
yeah. I don't think I'm gonna get sniped here at running back. There is a few players that I know will come back around next turn in the 10th and 11th. I have two
Okay.
starters. I'm not reaching for anybody. I'm just sticking to my draft strategy at this point.
I mean, KC has the most upside with all the players you did go with. You have Jamar Pickens, Garrett Zay. They're all safe. You have 4 safe wide receivers. I feel like you can go with some upside there with KC Concepcion. Travis Kelce goes off the board there at the 9-1. Who are we thinking here?
Yeah, I'm thinking another upside receiver,
Okay.
or I'm looking at quarterback, but I don't draft that way. So I'm really focusing on receiver. And there's one player that
Golden
stands
is
out
available here.
above the rest, and
Jaden
that's
Higgins, Golden.
you knew exactly who I was
Yeah.
looking at.
I mean, guys, Golden had the same draft capital as Egbuka last year. I mean, Egbuka won at what, the 22nd, and Golden won at the 28th, I think, right?
I'm not good about that.
Egbuka draft pick. Yeah, he won at the 19th, right? Egbuka won at the 19th, and Golden, Matthew Golden draft. All right, and Matthew Golden went in the 20th. So Matthew Golden was 4 rounds after Egbuka, 3 rounds after Egbuka. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
Golden has the same draft capital as Egbuka, but Egbuka's going 5 rounds over Matthew Golden, and I feel like they could both be really, really good offenses. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I would be looking for Golden to overtake Reed, but we just don't know what's going to happen. So it's an
I agree.
upside shot with both those guys.
I agree with that as well. All right, let's take a look at how the rest of the draft is going. How do you feel about the 8th round there?
Yeah, 8th round, I'm starting to see people take players they like over maybe the best strategy. I do love Drake May going at the 8-6. He's my number 2 quarterback, which I know is wild for a lot of people to think that. But I've talked to you before about how I think they're going to be in a lot more close contested games, and Drake May's going to hopefully have to pass more. Maybe they'll be down more in a lot of games this year. So hopefully he just continues to improve and maybe he'll be number 2 and I'll be proven right. But I love that with Lamar Jackson going before him at age 29 to 30. I can't say that I trust Jackson anymore. And over these other guys coming off injuries, it just made sense to go May to me. And he has a rushing floor, so he's going to be top half of the league. And then Wan'Dale Robinson, I told you about in the 8th round, is a player I love over Pierce.
Yeah. You talked to me about Wan'Dale Robinson. I feel like with Wan'Dale, like I said, we're focusing on last year's performance and not really this year's situation. So,
I'm following the money with him, and I think Tate. I don't think they're just going to automatically give him the wide receiver 1 role. So it's interesting to see. I could be totally wrong, but
they did draft him really, really heavy. They did draft him in top 4. So, yeah. All right, who am I gonna go here with, guys? Worthy is available. I'm not taking Pierce. The only person I see here that has the most upside is going to be Chris Rodriguez, guys, and I have to go ahead and take him here. I don't like my bench at all. I have Jonathan Brooks and Chris Rodriguez. I don't like the names of either of that, but they both have upside. If maybe Chris Rodriguez will be the touchdown back and Tudor will be the the receiving back. Maybe Jonathan Brooks will be there, receiving. We don't know what's going to happen there, but they have the most upside. How do you feel about Chris Rodriguez?
Yeah, it's just question marks at this point, and I like the stack, but not having Hubbard scares me. I would rather go Hubbard Rodriguez than try to go with the upside of those two players. But you already have 3 other running backs, so you are just shooting for upside with these late picks. I understand it, and it works for your team.
Yeah.
But like for me personally, where I only have one solidified running back and a question mark halfway through the year, I'm not looking for upside running backs. I'm looking for players who I know who are gonna produce. And here, I'm thinking I'm gonna go with Worthy.
Wow. Okay. Another
know
upside.
everybody's super hyped on that rookie they got, Allen, I
Cyrus
believe.
Allen. Yep. In the 5th round, the
Yeah.
next Puka Nakua, apparently he made a one-handed catch in practice, and people are like, guys, you know who also made the best one-handed catch in college? Ricky Pearsall. What did he do? You
Had
know
a
what I
knee
mean?
injury, didn't get surgery, and is injured again.
Did you see that catch with Ricky Pearsall in college?
I did.
Oh my
Oh, no, in
God.
college, in practice.
No, I'm talking about Ricky Pearsall. Let me just send it to you, just so you can react to it live.
All right.
College catch. All right, you ready for this?
Yep.
Let me see where it's at.
I'm watching your stream on YouTube.
Okay,
so
here.
I can
Okay,
see.
you ready? You ready?
Again, that pass is
Look at this.
And you're coming up on your pitch, by the
Oh,
way.
you're right. Okay. Let me know if you can see this.
Again, that pass is high.
Okay,
Oh,
I'm just gonna send this to you on Discord, so then you can look at it and tell me, because this is one of the craziest catches in college. I wish they have a slow mo for that. If they don't, let me know. But I just sent it to you.
Okay.
All right, let me see who I'm gonna pick here. Oh, I do gotta make the review announcement as well. Let me go ahead and put that in here. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take. Wow, Jaden Daniels and Jalen Hurts are still available. I'm not one to take quarterbacks, guys, but the value with Jaden Daniels at the 11-8, I know it's a 3-flex league, guys, but oh my goodness, this guy rushed for almost 1,000 rushing yards and passed for almost 4,000 passing yards last year. So Jalen Hurts does go there off the board. I could have, stacked Devontae Smith with Jalen Hurts, but wow, the value with Jaden Daniels I got, I'm not mad at it at all. I feel like Jaden Daniels and Lamar Jackson, you could say they're almost in the same tier. And I got him almost 4 rounds later. So you see that catch?
I'm trying to log into my Twitter.
Oh, you got to log.
I didn't know I did. It just on my computer I have to.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. You can just do it. It's a crazy one-handed catch, and oh my goodness, was it crazy?
My guy Stribling went.
Yeah, I took Stribling the 14, but I feel like Stribling could be the wide receiver 4 there.
He could be. I think that he has a lot of upside. I really fell in love with him through the draft process, watching him do the routes that especially the 49ers like to run with players like Chris Godwin, where they turn around and do a cutback, and it's a quarterback like Purdy throwing to a spot where the receiver is supposed to come back and get the ball, or slants. And that's where Stribling is really good at. So he also has a pretty good speed. I think that they have a lot of practice using his exact, player profile. So I'm really hyped for him. I think he'll be great this year. It's just sad that everybody now is coming to my side because I was liking drafting him very late.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with you on that as well. But your running backs do concern me. You don't have any tight ends or quarterbacks here. The tight ends are drawing dead here, but Godson is still available. We got Mark Andrews still available. We got We got a lot of tight ends still available here. What are you thinking for tight ends?
I'm looking for somebody in particular, but I'm still not ready to commit to tight end or quarterback, to be honest.
Wow, still. I mean, we're in the 12th round.
Yep.
Tank Bigsby. Yeah, after you heard that Bigsby news, huh? You had to go grab it.
I think just with my particular team in this league, not having some points at running back is concerning, and I think taking Stevenson, Tracy, and Bigsby, I can make something work out of my running back 2 spot, even if one of them gets injured. My wide receivers are pretty much set now, and now I get the luxury of just having fun with these next picks, taking great quarterbacks
I agree. Stafford's
like
still available.
Stafford.
Top 5 quarterback, top 3 quarterback last year. I mean, the situation just got better for Stafford. He doesn't have to. But I feel like Stafford isn't going to pass much this year. How do you feel about that take?
Yeah, I think a lot of people have been down on Stafford since he won the Super Bowl every year, thinking he might retire. But really, this is a different player than you talked about Stafford and you talked about Rodgers. And for a long time, Rodgers was the better quarterback. But Rodgers has fallen off a lot more than Stafford. And I went to a game last year with my dad, to the Saints game.
Yeah.
And I'm not seeing anything that's changed with Stafford's ability to throw the ball.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's because of Stafford's ability. I feel like because they got Myles Garrett on the defensive side, so I feel like they're gonna just run a lot to waste time. You know?
Yeah, they could. I don't disagree with you, but at the value I'm getting him at, I think that he'll be hopefully a top 12 quarterback. But I couldn't not pick him. I was looking between him and Bo Nix, but Bo Nix is that angel, and we don't know how much he's going to be running this year.
Yeah. All right. With that being said, let's start doing the reviews, man. Manth Perrick wants to review there at the 1-9. Can you go ahead and tell me about his team?
One moment. If you could do his, I'll do
I got
the
you.
other ones. I'm trying to look at tight ends.
You're good. All right, I'll take care of Bodman's team first. Bodman, Josh Allen's going to be a great quarterback, brother, but when you take a quarterback and a tight end that early before the 7th round, you're going to have a weakness on your team, especially if it's 3 flex. Henry and Blake Corum, that's your first weakness. Blake Corum there. Henry's going to be great, though. And then you got Jason and Ladd McConkey who are going to be elite wide receivers. Crabtree is going to be a great tight end. You got Mike Evans who's going to be a great flex one. But you got JCM and George Kittle as your flex options. You chose an injured George Kittle over Harold Fannin, over Kyle Pitts, and I don't know how much I love that for you, broski, to be totally honest with you. In here, I am going to go ahead and take Bo Nix just for the upside with Bo. And then I'll take somebody else on there. But with that being said, I think your flex 2 is weak. Flex 3 with Kittle, he's injured. We don't know exactly what he's going to be doing. And then you got your running back 2 who's also on the weaker side. Then your bench, Kamara, Jennings, Robinson, Tesla. It's not bad. Kamara has upside if ETN goes down. Brian Robinson has upside. Juwan Jennings has some upside as well. Tesla has no upside there. I don't know why people are taking him. But with that being said, this is probably going to be a 5.7 team. Above average still, but not on the great elite team side. All right. With that being said, it is coming up to you here, James. What I will say though is that, wow, Chig was available. I didn't even see Chig. I would have picked Chig over Mark Andrews. I didn't even see Chig there available. All right. These tight ends are going off the board now. Hunter Henry is available, and Dalton Schultz is available, and Juwan Johnson is available. I actually don't mind any of those tight ends. Hunter Henry is a great tight end, bro. He finishes a top 10 tight end last year.
Yeah, he does concern me just with his age going into 32, but he is Drake May's favorite target in that 3rd down situation or red zone area. We'll see how that changes with AJ Brown, but I'm happy to get him with the 411. I'm interested to see who else falls here.
I feel like, I know you don't like taking 2 quarterbacks, but Jared Goff here is an amazing value as well. But you do need another.
Yeah, I'm looking at 2 quarterbacks here, and I'm looking at tight end. I feel a little bit better about.
I would go Schultz or Goff on the way here.
Oh wow! See, I'm looking at Sam Darnold there.
Wow, over Goff?
Yeah, but um,
Goff has never finished
hmm,
outside of top 10 quarterback for the past 4 years.
okay,
Dude,
okay,
I
I'll
mean,
trust you.
I just want you to look at his stats real quick, and he has the easiest schedule this year. Did you know Lions have one of the easiest schedules this year? Top 3.
I do know that, and that is a kind of a crazy thing to think about that division. Um, but yeah, he's number 9 last year. It does surprise me. I thought he would have done a little bit worse for how the team did.
Yeah, but
Uh,
he didn't. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That's the crazy
9
part.
and then 6, 7, 10. Yeah, so maybe that was a steal. Well, hopefully.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like that pick a lot for you. All right, in here I am gonna go ahead and take Trey Harris just because I have Quentin Johnston. One of them has to be the outside receiver, right? One of them, right?
I think so, and
So
hopefully it's Trey Harrison Johnston, and Ladd's not on the field for your team, unless you have a lot of Ladd other
I don't mind
places.
that. I don't mind that, but we'll see how that goes. All right, let's review the teams, man. Peric wants to review there at the 1-9. Take care of his team, please.
Yeah, 1-9.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Manth. He took at the 1-9. Cook, Jefferson at the 2-4, ETN, Tetaroa. Then he went Jamison Williams, Brian Thomas, Alec Pierce, and for tight end he has Harold Fannin. He got steals and quarterback with Jalen Hurts and Jackson Dart. This team, really the only question is their backup running back, and if their wide receivers live up to expectations. I think this team could easily be a team at the end of the year that's has a bye week, and it might surprise, but it's also a team that could end up missing the playoffs by a game or two and disappointing if players don't show up. So I would have to give it like a 7.5. I'm looking at right now what I would have done differently, and I think hoping that Price fell instead of taking Jamison Williams. But if not, there's players like Warren, Hubbard, Pollard I might have taken and then looked at wide receiver going forward because you could still do guys like Wandale a few rounds later than that. Other than that, I like every pick he took. Darnell Mooney, I'm not sure. I don't really have opinion on him this year, but that's a flyer.
I agree with you. I think Moogie started off very well, but then he kind of went off the road a little bit with Brian Thomas, Alec Pierce with him being injured, and then some other picks. But I love the Harold Fannin value here at the 9-9. I really don't mind that at all. So I really do like that. All right. With that being said, Ryan wants to review as well at the 1-3. How would you go ahead and take care of him?
Yeah. So Miley or
Miley.
Riley,
Yep. My
however you
bad.
say
It's
it.
his name's Ryan Miley. I call him Ryan.
Oh, got it. Gibbs is a great pitch. It might end up biting me in the butt if he outperforms this team for me. You picked right after me, so we're going to see a lot of back and forth between us in this draft. Then he went London, Jacobs, Tootin, and Dowdle for running back. He grabbed Waddle, Shakir, and Naylor, and this is exactly what I was talking about with the flexes. So if you look at his team and you look at the flex position he has, he's looking at Shakir, Dowdle, question marks with Tootin, Naylor, Omar Cooper. We don't know what he is. So his flex position is extremely weak. He does have Laporta, and he got Lamar. So he reached on, taking the luxury picks and Laporta and Lamar, and going wide receiver heavy early. Running back heavy early, and only taking a few wide receivers here. So I'm gonna say this is one of the worst teams here that compared to Manth, who we just looked at. I'm gonna give him like a 6.5 or 6.8.
Wow. Okay. I respect that. I think with Miley, I think there's a chance Jacobs is in play. I think after taking three running backs there, I don't know what the point of taking Rico Dowdle there as well is at the 6'10". You already have three good running backs there. I think you should have chose somebody else there, like in my opinion, DK Metcalf, Michael Wilson, Cortland Sutton, Jaden Reed, somebody else. And then you took Lamar at the 7-3, even though I think that's a good value. Look how late the QBs were. Is there that much of a tier gap for Lamar and Jaden Daniels in your opinion, Jams, that what's the word for it? That it's a 4 round difference?
These older quarterbacks extremely scare me this year more than other years. And I could be just in my head about it. But him, especially not playing a full year last year, only 13 games, and a player like Daniels also coming back from injury, but is younger. He had more rushing yards than Lamar his first year at 891. Compared to like what Lamar's asked to do these days. He's been running. Well, no, I'm totally wrong. He ran 9:15 that same year as Daniel. So it's really, do you want to go with a more experienced quarterback?
But 4 rounds
established,
earlier
or-
is what I mean.
It's yeah. I wouldn't. I would never do that. You see my take on quarterback drafting Stafford and Goff late, but
I
I don't
agree.
hate it if he would have gone receiver instead of Dowdle and receiver instead of Laporta, and then that would have made more sense. But because he doubled up on luxury picks, it ruined his team to me.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. And another pick I don't like is going to be his wide receivers, man. His wide receivers just not trustworthy. Besides London and Waddle, but London and Dowdle are both injury-prone wide receivers. And then you have Shakir, Jalen Naylor, Cooper, Hunter, and Cyrus Allen. And man, those wide receivers are not very friendly, in my opinion. How are you going to skip on Zay Flowers and take a Bashal Tootin? That is crazy
It's
to me.
because he's looking ahead. I can see his thought process of me needing a running back, him looking at the turn and saying, Tutin's not going to get back to me. And you really don't know other people's draft strategies. So
That even if Tootin wasn't going to make it back to me, there's no world where I'm taking Tootin over Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers finished as a top
Yeah.
7 wide receiver last year. As a top 7 wide receiver last year. And his situation, it did not get any worse. You could tell Wandell finished top 15, but his situation got a lot worse. But Zay Flowers' situation did not get any worse. So, but with that being said, man, I believe that's everybody that wanted to review. Botman, if you just rewind it, I already did your team. So shout out to you for being here. I appreciate you. All right, guys. Shout out to Satoshi, Ryan, JJ, Totally Engorged, Botman, Christian Young, Peric, Pickens, Moogie, and Bama for all drafting with us. Big shout out to James for co-hosting, brother. Every time you come on here, I appreciate you. I enjoy it, and I hope you have a great day. And don't forget, you can always co-host whenever you're available, broski.
Yeah. Do you want to review each other's teams, or do you want to just end it here?
Go ahead and review your team. I know my team isn't amazing, but if you can, go ahead and review your team and give people the thought process of your team, that would be awesome.
Yeah, so I'm at the 1-2. My thought process with the 3 flex, which I've been saying, is to draft heavily on wide receivers early. I did that a few times in 2 flex leads, and it really doesn't pay off. But I can see the benefit here, even if I'm taking running backs like Ramondre. So that was my thought process going into it. I did want a player like Price, Henderson, or Tootin to fall to me. Even though I don't like Tootin, I would have rather had a more solidified team there. But I am pretty happy with picking up Tracy, Bigsby, players who are going to see the field and could have larger roles. Stevenson should be able to carry me for the first little bit of the season. And all I'm trying to do here is make the playoffs. I know everybody wants to look ahead at the end of the year and how their team will be. But really, I'm looking at the first half of the year, first 4 weeks, and trying to start off to where I can set myself up to make the playoffs. I got Stafford and Goff late, as well as Hunter Henry. There's a few players on the flex waiver wire, like Otten, that I'm keeping an eye on in case Henry gets hurt or I need to pick up a player. But I liked the upside in Casey. He kind of reminds me of like Pirates of the Caribbean. What's that guy's name? Orlando Bloom. So I kind of like just the way he looks and the upside there with him being wide receiver 1. And then Golden, again, we don't know what he's going to be worthy. We don't know with the Rice situation if he gets suspended out of nowhere or there's any injuries in Kansas City. He has a lot of upside. So I don't love the team. I have players here that I don't like to draft, like DK Wilson on the Jets. I've been staying away from Pittons, but I overall I think that my team's pretty solid. I would give it like a 7.8.
All right, I respect it. I think your biggest weakness is going to be your running backs, but man, if what's the word for it? If Ramondre Stevenson can take over that running back room, you know, because they don't really trust Travion, this could be a phenomenal league-winning team. You know, what I would have liked better is if instead of Chase, if you took Gibbs there and you had Pickens, Garrett Wilson, and Zay Flowers, then I feel like that would have been an even better team. But man, Jamar, you know, he's a stud. We know that.
Yeah, and we're coming off a recency bias with Burrow not being healthy, but yeah, it was good to be drafting with you again, and I'll see you next time.
I agree, brother. I agree. All right, guys. With that being said, shout out to everybody, man. I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and end the call here. I appreciate you, James. Have a good night, broski. All right, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. We are doing another draft after this. It's going to be a $50 live stream draft. So if you guys want to get your teams reviewed again, you guys are more than welcome to go ahead and join that. Thank you guys for tuning in. If I don't see you guys, I hope you guys have a great rest of your night and God bless. And big shout out to James for co-hosting this again. Shout out to Miley, Ryan, Moogie, Kevin, and Joshua